Homie. Oh, hello. Hi, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
So it is. Oh gosh, nope. Don't you even try it.
Look.
It's T.
What you
Your
doing?
#1 fan on the live video.
Hi.
How are y'all doing tonight? So yes, you see the title. Today is Healthy Wealth Wednesday. Let's do a little talking about health and wealth. Hi, Chantrell. So first and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Miss Angela Jones. Happy birthday, Queen. Shout out to my fellow Gemini ladies. Another shout out to Miss Alethea Hall. She's also one of our Gemini ladies. I think she's either tomorrow or today, but happy birthday, ladies. Happy birthday. So, as you see on the title, I guess I'll dive into this really quickly. My shout outs to Miss Queen Hope. She's in the building right now. And Mr. King Cooper, who's not in the building, but I want y'all to know who they are because they are some amazing mentors who actually inspired this. So yes, I do have a business that I'm a part of, but they have taught me a lot about just being me and letting my brand shine through and what I like to do, you know, come out versus just always doing business. So tonight, it is Wednesday, and every Wednesday we do Health and Wealth Wednesday Talk, where we talk about how you can get your health in order, how you can get your finances together, and how you too can have success in your everyday life. So let's go. Let's dive in. So what I wanted to talk about this Wednesday was the 8 pillars of wellness, or some people just call it the things you need to be healthy. Some people call it the ways to have total health. That's what I like to call it. But all of these things, when they're balanced properly, you can have total success in your life, and you can have an experience having a balanced lifestyle. Okay? So the first one that I want to dive into is physical. So when I talk physical talk, I'm not just talking about like exercise. Yes, that's a big deal, y'all. Okay, exercise is a big deal and being active, but it's not everything. Okay, it's not everything at all. Come back, baby. When he gets pulled away, he's like, he wants to be on the camera. But tonight, it's about y'all. So, okay. So when I talk about physical, I'm not just talking about, again, like exercising or just physical activity. I'm talking about everything, even routines that you do before going to bed, y'all. I'm talking about like even having yourself in order and different strategies you do throughout the day to keep yourself calm, to keep yourself active, to keep yourself moving. Just little things you can do day in and day out. Little things like hygiene, like practicing sleeping, like your sleep routine really well. Yes, a part of it is a healthy diet. But when I say hygiene, guys, you don't know what a shower can do for you. And some of you do know, but I know after being in quarantine, some of y'all have experienced just kind of going through your day where you throw something on and then you know, kind of just maneuver through your day, and you don't take the extra time that you need, that you normally take, you know, to feel good and like get clothes on and get ready and do things that you used to do. So when I talk about physical, I'm talking about everything. Being active, your hygiene, eating a balanced meal, getting to bed at a good time, like really taking care of your total needs, okay? So another pillar, and make sure that you actually tune in all the way to the end, because the biggest one that has one of the most effects on our entire life, I'm going to give really key strategies for, and really help you guys to connect with it and see how you can fix it to make it work for you and work for your lifestyle. Okay, so the second pillar that I want to talk about is nutrition. So I don't just mean like, oh, follow the food triangle, follow the food pyramid, because I'm not going to say that they designed it, or did, for a specific purpose, but it is the food pyramid, the old way, the old traditional pyramid, is in part designed for you to spend money with certain companies to keep money in their pocket. So I'm not going to dive deep into that, but what I will say is I've done a whole lot of experimentation, a whole lot of experiments on what we should and shouldn't eat. So I'll leave it at that. But when I talk about nutrition, I'm talking about just fueling your body with the right things, y'all, to give you energy. You should not be eating and overeating to the point where you're sleepy. You know how we talk about we get the itis after we eat? No, you're not supposed to get the itis. You're supposed to be fueled and full of energy. That's what food is supposed to do for your body. If it's doing the opposite and having an adverse effect or giving you acne, guys, it's not what you're supposed to be eating. So I'm gonna leave that part at that. That's more tips for another day, but we have a lot of pillars to get through, so I'm just gonna sum these up, pretty quickly. So the next pillar, y'all, is emotional. So when I talk about emotions, guys, look, life is a roller coaster, period. However you want to slice it, however you want to cut it, life can be an emotional roller coaster, but why not have it be a good one, an exciting one, and have it to the point where your emotions are in order and in check? Guys, especially if you're in business, you have to learn how to separate your feelings and your emotions and take them out of other things that you're doing. You can't have what you're feeling and your emotions stuck into your business. That's a big no-no. You have to learn how to separate certain things. And when you manage your feelings properly and you understand the process in your journey, then guess what? You can ride that emotional roller coaster a lot smoother. And it all comes from different things, like maybe making a checklist of people that you know that support you and having them on a call list to kind of reach out to them and just talk to them. Or maybe having a counselor or a therapist, or trying something like journaling to get your thoughts out there. There are a lot of different things you can do to kind of keep your emotions in check, so that one, especially if you're in business, you separate the two, you don't mix them, and two, you can just start to live a healthier lifestyle because you're not wearing your feelings on your sleeve all the time. You're kind of riding that wave of life, because guys, at the end of the day, that's what life's all about, okay? Emotions make you cry sometimes, but you don't want to be always walking around, with a frown on your face because you're feeling a type of way, okay? Does that make sense? So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's not really moving quickly, so hi Gwendolyn. I can't really see everything, but yeah, it's there. So feel free to comment. So the next one I want to talk about is social. I actually have a degree in this one, so you can't check me on this one. But social, y'all, this is like your interaction with other individuals, as well as how you interact with your environment, okay? So this even goes into depth, and I'll say something like more like relationships. So not just like sexual or like a relationship with another partner, but this is even friendships. This is family. This is all of those things, the way you interact with everyone. Guys, these things, when they are not in check, you are totally out of whack. You can be totally out of whack. And it could be something as simple as not going out enough, not meeting new people enough, kind of being just reserved into yourself. One thing about it, I don't like labels. I hate labels, actually. Just because you're an introvert, as people like to say, or you're shy, because I'm actually very shy, believe it or not, that doesn't mean you have to label yourself as that and keep saying it over and over again and presenting yourself as such. That doesn't mean you have to be all internalized into yourself and pulled inward. You can still be a lively person and have a social life without necessarily feeling like you're this big socialite and social person. I hope that really makes sense. But feel free to ask, because there are a lot of ways that you can kind of pull yourself out of your shell, because it's going to help you not only in your social life and in life in general, but also in business. In any endeavors that you want to dive into, it's really great to start to have connections with other people in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because that's who we are as human beings. We're people, and we need, whether you like it or not or believe it or not, we need social, because that's what we're based on. Connections with other people. Okay? So the next pillar that I want to dive into is spiritual. Woo! This is actually one of my favorites, and it doesn't necessarily mean being healthy, having a healthy religion or religious lifestyle. When I talk spiritual, I'm talking about like maybe yoga, meditating, if you like prayer, whatever it takes to get you to connect with the inner you and your inner self. Okay? So when I'm talking spiritual, I'm talking about you really truly realizing who you are and realizing your journey and accepting your journey and riding it, and again, like going back to the other pillars, and trusting the process. A lot of things in life, y'all, is all about trusting that process. If you can't look within and listen to yourself and the inner you and a higher power that's actually directing you, then you will oftentimes feel like you're lost. You will always feel lost, because one, you don't trust yourself, and two, you don't trust the process. Because everything, and this is not just cliche, this is true. I know this to be true. Everything happens for a reason, whether you believe it or not. Because what you'll find is things you did maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, something you learned maybe in school 2 years ago, will resurface in another shape, form, or fashion, but it either taught you a lesson to prepare you for something later on in life. But if you're not connected and balanced within you, it's hard to focus and start to realize things like that. You'll start to feel like everything that happens in life is coming to bring you down, and that's not the case. It's actually there to build you up and prepare you for what's to come. But if you don't get that, you're oftentimes going to feel lost. And that's where a lot of people feel in life, just lost. They're kind of just wandering around like, what do I do? What am I doing now? Oh gosh, I'm just living life. Okay? So the next pillar is a really great one. And this one, y'all, is intellectual. It's like your mind power. It's like your brain. So what I want y'all to start doing to really channel in on this one and being healthy mentally, guys, it can be something as small as reading books, doing puzzles, something to keep you stimulated and keep your brain constantly on the go and going and going and going. Guys, guess what? When you keep your mind going, you start to think on your feet quicker. You start to have better responses. Your memory gets better. There are a lot of different things that come with you just simply channeling in and keeping your mind going, constantly on the go. Yes, it's good to rest and relax and let your brain take a breather. But it's really good to take the time, especially when you're not doing much, to play certain types of games that stimulate the mind and stimulate the brain, so that you're constantly like, okay, you're constantly keeping it moving. Just like you want to exercise your body, you want to always exercise your brain. You don't want to lose it, right? You want to keep your memory going, right? So there are a lot of things that you can do that are actually fun, that channel that energy to keep your brain constantly going and going and going. And yes, books and puzzles, I love them. I know I used to play a game when I had speech. When I was younger, I had a speech impediment or whatever. Can you believe it? But I played a game called Memory, and I loved that game. but it helped me with my speech to be able to speak things, but it also helped with my memory and my brain power, because I was constantly like looking and like, oh, boom, boom, this goes here, this is there. And it was fun to me, and I didn't really realize what it was really doing for me. So guys, just because you're older, I'm not the youngest thing walking around, but just because you're older doesn't mean you're too old to play games. Because guys, I'm telling you, those things start to stimulate your mind and keep you going, and keep you on your toes. That's the point and the purpose. So another pillar that I want to talk about is your environment. Your environment could be where you're living. Your environment could be where your job is, where you're spending a lot of the time, your surroundings, and just what's around you, as well as who's around you. So you want to make sure that you're constantly doing your best to keep a healthy environment, because I know one thing about me, I don't like a lot of clutter. When I see clutter, because I already have like a lot bouncing around in my mind, when I see a lot of clutter, it also like makes my mind clutter. It doesn't free me up to just be free, like a free bird, flying around. So your environment is really, 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 really important. I mean, even your neighborhood, your community. And some people don't realize, they're like, well, I don't mind just being in the hood. This is what I know. Cool. If that's what you like, that's what you like. But think about it. Do you really think that it's mentally stress-free to be somewhere where you're constantly having to look over your shoulder? You know what I'm saying? Like, just be mindful about the role that your environment and your surroundings play on you, your stress levels, your health, and your overall health in your life. Okay, just be mindful of that. So all of these pillars that I'm talking about are just things to keep in mind that actually help build that foundation and give you a balance to actually achieving total health and having total health. But the biggest one, and the one that I have a huge focus in, y'all, is, I think you know what it is, it's financial. Woo! Because when you think about it, when your finances are in order, they give way and give rise to all the other pillars to help them be better. You almost missed me, Deidre. Yeah, but I'm almost done, boo. I'm on the last one. But when your finances are together, y'all, it can do so much for your life. It can help you change your environment to where you want it to be. It can help you have better eating habits, like I mentioned before. It directly impacts your relationships. It can, because one of the main killers of relationships and marriages are financial problems. So that's why I left that for last, because there are a whole lot of ways and things that you can do to actually change that situation around, where you can start to, one, save and invest to actually fund for your future lifestyle. See, a lot of us are living in the now. And when you live in the now, what are you going to do moving forward? You're just living to be living, but that's not giving you the healthy lifestyle that you want and you deserve and you're actually looking for to achieve. But once you start to invest money and put things aside, you start to be able to see that once you're ready to stop, laboring, and actually sit back and enjoy your life and take a kickback and take a breather and do all those things to actually achieve the total health that you want, because your finances are in order and you have the investments, boom, working for you, giving you time freedom instead of you constantly having to work for it. So a couple of tips and things that you can do thank you. A couple of tips and things that you can do to start to get your finances in order and set aside and laid out so that you can achieve total health in every area and pillar that I spoke about. Mama, is one.
Look at Mama.
Yes. Okay, Old McDonald had a farm. Sing. No, but seriously, more seriously, on a financial tip, what you can do is, one, get your cash flow right. get your cash flow in order. Get your money that's coming in, staying in, not just flowing out the door. So everything that's coming in, you should either be putting it aside for investments to fund your future lifestyle, or you should be doing something with it. So one, you can eliminate your debt, you can raise your credit score, you can do a whole lot of things that are going to set that money and set yourself up for success, not just in the now, but also in the future. Okay? So when you get your cash flow in order, and you, again, going back to another pillar when I'm talking about environment, you get your job right or become a business owner, that changes a lot for your finances and your financial situation, because you get leverage that you didn't have before. You start to have leverage that you didn't have as just a regular laborer. Leverage, y'all, in life is so important. And you will never have the leverage you want if you do not own what you need to own in order to play what leverage is. I'm telling you that, and I mean that. You cannot leverage if you're the one being leveraged all the time. In other words, if you don't have something working for you, you don't have investments lined up and set up, you don't have a business running on autopilot, or you at least calling the shots and leveraging other people, you are the ones being leveraged. Point blank, period. How do you stop being leveraged? One, you stop overpaying in your taxes. Point blank. Stop paying your money to the government. Stop giving your money to the government up front. Become a business owner and pay your taxes later. Pay your money last. Stop giving your money away first. Look, inflation is another thing. Guys, simply put, inflation doesn't have to be bad if you're the one controlling it. That's what I'm talking about, leverage. This is all financial here. And doing all of these different things plays a role in all the other pillars to health that I mentioned before. If you keep letting inflation kick your butt, you're constantly letting the money flow out the door, because what's coming in is constantly going to everything else other than what you need it to be going to, which are your investments. Simply put, it's going to gas, it's going to food, it's going to taxes, it's going to debt, it's going to you overpaying and giving it to the banks and using credit cards and funding a lifestyle that you can't afford. That's where your money is going. So when your money is going to all those different places, and most of all going to big business where they're constantly taking from you, then what's happening? You don't have a chance to even wrap your brain around any of the other pillars that I mentioned before that have to do with you living a healthy lifestyle. I'm not telling you to set yourself up to be rich beyond your wildest dreams and saying you need to be a multimillionaire. I'm saying do little simple things, little simple tasks that can totally transform your entire life. It can totally transform your overall health. Your overall health. Thank you, sweetie. It's such a cute pony. Simple things. That's why I say financial for last. Because whether you realize it or not, your finances directly affect and impact everything else in your life. What do people normally say? Why they can't do something? Oh, I can't afford it. Yes, debt is crippling you. Yes, funding a lifestyle that you can't afford is crippling you. Yes, every dollar you're getting going to the government is crippling you. Yes, every dollar that you have left, spending it in big business and funding things that you need or you think you need, is crippling you. But doing something so simple like investing in the right things, not just volatile things, not just, stock market, not just things that are going to give you a minimal return of investment, like actually investing in the right things the right way can do so much to change your life and give you the healthy lifestyle that you've been wanting. Guys, some people, let me tell you, some people eat bad just because they like the flavor. But a lot of people eat bad because, one, that's all they know, and two, that's all they're around, and three, that's all they can afford, or they feel like that's all they can afford. Because some people that are like, man, I just love how McDonald's tastes. Let me tell you something. If I sat you down somewhere and gave you some real meat, real steak, real food that's cooked properly, I guarantee you be throwing that McDonald's out the windows every chance you get. And you'll be like, this really ain't that good. But if you can't afford to even have that kind of lifestyle where you're eating what you want and what's actually good for you, then you're going to sit around kind of like, no, this is what I know. So you fake the funk in your head, training yourself to think, okay, this is what I know, this is what I like. But you don't really know what you like because you haven't had anything else. You haven't even been able to afford to try anything better. So all I'm asking you to do, or telling you to do, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you to keep an open mind and actually try some things. Keep an open mind and actually try to do these little tips that I mentioned for every pillar to start to get your health in order. And when I talk about health, I'm not just talking about your blood pressure. I'm talking about your overall lifestyle. Your overall things that you need, that you want for your future. Your overall relationships, your family, people that care about you. Because that's what matters, y'all. That's what matters. Balancing your lifestyle. Balancing your health. And I'm talking about your overall health. That right there is when you begin to live a stress-free lifestyle. And I know it because I've lived it. And then I've gone backwards just to go forwards, just to make sure I'm doing things properly so I can be able to teach other people. It wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy at all. And I've never truly been overweight. But even the journey that I went on to just eat unhealthy, just to turn back and be healthy again so I can show other people, it was hard. It was hard. And sometimes when I felt like I didn't feel good, it wasn't what I was eating. That part was in check. It wasn't me being physical and having a physical lifestyle. That part was in check. It was my environment that was bringing me down. It was my mentality that was bringing me down. Most of all, it was my finances that was in the ground. I was so far in debt. I was constantly stressed out because I didn't know how to get out of debt. I didn't know how to even live the lifestyle I wanted to live. And one thing about me, and I urge everyone to figure this out about them, what type of personality type they are. One thing about me, when I talked about social earlier, I'm a fun person. So one thing I realized is that if I'm not having enough fun, I'm low-key kind of stressed out. If I'm not having enough fun, I'm unbalanced. But you have to start, that's why I said remove the labels. You have to start to figure out who you are and what balances you. Because what's balanced for me isn't necessarily what's balanced for you. So you have to start to get in tune with yourself. And that's where that spirituality comes into play. You have to start to get in tune with you. Remove your labels and see what you need to balance your lifestyle. But I know everybody, no matter who you are, has to get their finances in order to the point where they can live the life that they want to live, how they want to live it. So, if you need help with any of these pillars, and most of all financial, because I have all the solutions for that. But I have all the solutions for the others as well because of my certifications and things that I've studied. Inbox me. Don't hesitate because that's what I'm here for. I'm doing what I love to do. That's what's so cool about doing live videos and doing any kind of videos, YouTube, whatever it is, because you can just be you and give the value that you have no matter what it's in. Am I in a health field business? No. Do I want to be? No. Because I've been there, done that. Not necessarily in business, but I have my own thing going. But when I talk finances, I'm so serious about it because I know how it affects everybody. And it's one thing that we all have and we all have to deal with, but so many people know so little about. And it's time to change that. Because when you change something that minor and you tweak little things, it can totally transform your entire life. Especially when you do all of these things together and you start to balance them all out. You'll see how things start to change. So, again, y'all, I love y'all. That's why I come on the live. I know I ain't been live in a while, but every Wednesday will be Health and Wealth Wednesday. So again, another really big shout out. Oh, you got vegan cookies, girl? Wait, what are you using though? Because sometimes vegan don't mean healthy. I'm just keeping it real. Vegan does not mean healthy. It might mean, okay, it doesn't have meat and all that stuff and butter, but vegan does not mean healthy all the time. Just want to throw that in there. But but this is why I come on, because I have, through my life, I've realized my journey and I've learned so many different things, and I feel like it is my duty to start to give the value that I've learned and I know in the different certifications and studies and degrees that I have. They're not just laying there for no reason, you know. Yes, I'm a boss. Yes, I'm a businesswoman. But yes, I'm a person who loves helping other people and wanting to give people value as well. So that's just my Real Talk Wednesday for tonight. I love y'all. Again, I know a lot of people are hurting and need help out there. Inbox me so I can connect you to the solutions to help you live the total healthy lifestyle that you want, you've been yearning for, you've been praying for, and you deserve to have. So y'all have a blessed night. And yes, plant-based, Christine. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Healthy plant-based. So I love y'all. And also, y'all, you can catch me on YouTube. T Black. She is T Black. And I am your #1 fan. I want all of y'all to live your best life. And I'm rooting for everyone on this live and everyone that's going to watch to be the best part of them that they want to be, to have and to do whatever they want to do in life. So if you feel like nobody supports you, you feel like you don't have anybody rooting for you, you feel like you don't have any fans, hey, how you doing? I'll be your first one, because I truly care about seeing people win and have success. That's why our team's winning. Shout out Chantrell. I love y'all. Okay, y'all have a blessed night. Mwah. Yeah! Girl, I like your little Bitmoji.